Hey everyone, my name is Mike and this is a video of me getting level 110 on my warrior. Breaking the tradition a little bit, I'm not going to be doing the explorer achievement right away. Just had more important things to do after I got 110 than explore the world. So with my level 110 ding, I was the first warrior on my server as far as I know. I never checked the alliance, so I don't know if these are 100% correct, but I believe I was the first warrior on my server and within the top 10 of the first 110s on my server. I think I would have been a little bit higher up had I had more access to beta. I got in with like a month left before Legion came out. But what you're looking at right now is pretty much like the maps I did when I was on the beta, figuring out where each quest was, how many quests were in each zone. From there I was able to figure out which quests were important, which ones I could skip, and which ones kind of loop me back around to other areas where I was questing already. So on the beta I leveled through each zone 3 times, excluding Stormheim because I only did that twice. So at the very least I thought I had an advantage knowing the quests if anything else. But it ended up being that my route was pretty good, and I ended up having it calculated to the point where I was only 2% off of 110 once I finished all of it. So when servers went live, I unfortunately handed in one quest a little bit too early, one of my dailies, so that was kind of annoying, because I think that would have been the one that pushed me to 100% into 110 at the end there. But with the other quests I handed in, I got about 5 bars of experience going in, so that was definitely a helpful bonus. I'm still a little bit upset that they did nerf the experience for dailies from 15k to 3k, most of them. After that, my route was just to go left to right on the scouting map, so I went to Azuna, Val'sharah, High Mountain, and finished off with Stormheim. Azuna and Val'sharah are kind of zones that I don't really mind. I never really felt like I was there for too long and I didn't really hate questing there. High Mountain was okay as well, I didn't mind it too much. It was a little bit long and tedious, but it was okay I suppose for the most part. Stormheim, for whatever reason though, I just hate. So that might be one of the reasons I left it for last, just so I didn't have to deal with it ever again. Overall, the Legion launch was probably the best WoW expansion launch ever. And I'm super proud of that because Blizzard has had now 2 releases this year that were flawless, 2 big releases. So we had Overwatch in May and now Legion that were just flawless. Like, I had absolutely no issues, and compared to WoD, unbelievable. And so big round of applause to Blizzard for that. The launch felt like the expansion had been out for like a year and I was logging on just to play. Like, there was no issues, no lag, no freezing, no disconnects, no nothing. In my opinion, that's a very good sign for where Legion may be going, because with Warlord's launch you couldn't play for like a week afterwards, but currently we have server stability that is unreal for an expansion launch. And I was very happy to see that there was almost no bottlenecks for this expansion. There was only one, and that's the one in High Mountain where you have to defend Malfurion in that dream and like kill the people out of that portal. That quest was kind of annoying, but it wasn't too bad since you could still do it. You had to spam your one ability and then get into a party to kind of help out with that. And the instancing they did where like there wasn't that many people around you at any one time was great, and I think definitely helped out with any lag or FPS issues that people might have had they not done that. The leveling experience itself though, even in beta for the first time, I never really got into it. Like with Warlords, I loved leveling for the first time. But with Legion it's kind of different because I don't feel any sort of passion for it. I don't feel like I want to play it ever again. Leveling itself took about 9 hours, which was about 2 hours more than I had hoped. But the thing about 110 is that when I got there, I wasn't entirely sure what to do anymore. Like in the beta, I never did anything at level 10, I just leveled to level 110. So it was kind of confusing figuring out where to go next, what to do, how to get to Suramar, how to start getting gear. But speaking of the gearing, I think that's one of the major issues at the start of this expansion. I think the 810 item level requirement for Heroic is fine, but I think the amount of gear you can get, it just takes forever to get there. Like normals only drop you 805 gear, so you can't, even if you tried to do normals, you couldn't get into heroic. You have to rely solely on rares or Suramar quests or world quests to get you some gear. And even then you may not get a lot of gear. Like there's a guy in my guild who was stuck at 809 for about 3 hours and he had done everything I just said. So it would have been nice to have a little bit of an easier time getting to 810. So I'm doing this without a script, so if my thoughts are kind of all over the place, that's why. Another thing I didn't really like either was the amount of power I didn't have at level 110. I felt more powerful at 109. And I get the scaling from 108 to 109 and 109 to 110 is vastly different, mostly because the 110 stuff is scaled for end content. But I think it would have been helpful to maybe scale it down a bit, or even scale it in tiers where for the first week or two it's kind of scaled more so that 109 to 110 isn't that drastic of a drop, and then a couple weeks later scale it up again because people have more gear, and then after a couple more weeks start scaling it up and up until it's at where it's at now. Also, the world quests, having done them a few times, I can see them getting really boring really quick. I'm not sure if there's going to be different rewards or if the rewards are going to keep scaling with your item level. Like once I have raid gear, if the world drops are going to drop better than raid gear or equivalent raid gear that I can actually get an upgrade from. Because if they don't, I can see the world quest becoming just something people do not do. I mean, every once in a while there's a lot of gold involved, or like a pet charm or something like that, or something that you don't have, but for the most part, I feel like these world quests are very good at the start of the expansion, but I don't see them having much replayability as we get into raiding and PvP and whatnot. Because even order resources, as far as I've found, they have no relevance to me. I have so much that I don't know what to do with it. Artifact power is great to have, but I mean, there isn't that many world quests that reward artifact power, so even then it's still like maybe an hour of my time done and then I'm done with the world quests. But I mean, it is an hour of content that I have to do that I didn't have before, so it's kind of a win-loss situation where I have something to do, but at the same time I might not have something to do, so we'll see how that kind of pans out. But anyway, I just wanted to share this. Hopefully you all had a similar launch experience. Feel free to let me know how that went down below in the comments. Once again, congrats and good job to Blizzard for a successful launch. I never mentioned this before, but even the DDoS attacks that they were having, they countered them really quickly, and it didn't really have that much of an effect on my gameplay anyway. Expansion launches are one of my favorite things in this game, and I'm so glad I got to take part of it. Staying up for, I believe it was 27 or 28 hours was more than worth it. I'm looking forward to playing this expansion and doing it again in about 2 years. Thanks for watching, have a terrific day, and I'll see you later.